Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kaylee. If you're new here, I use this channel to talk about intentional living and what that looks like for me. So if you would like to learn some new ways or find some inspiration for your intentional life, please keep watching. Today, we're doing a little bit of a different style video, going handheld, and we are going to talk about how I prep for a trip. We have a 9-day international trip coming up, and I want to do two parts of this kind of like prepping and packing. The first part is going to be the prep. The second part is going to be the pack. So without further ado, let's get started. So one of the first things that I like to do is to make sure that we have enough food prior to the trip, that we're not eating out all the time, because I don't know what it is about traveling. No matter if it's a 3-day weekend or if it's 9 days or 2 months, I feel like we need to eat everything in the house so that nothing like goes to waste or nothing happens. I don't know. But instead, this time I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional, and I have a lot of things prepped for when we get back so that we don't have to go grocery shopping immediately, because there's nothing worse than coming home and realizing you have nothing, and either you have to go eat out or go pick something up, or you have to go grocery shopping. So we have plenty of things in the freezer to stock us up for when we get back from our trip. And then for before, I also made sure that we had enough food that will get us through Wednesday lunchtime so that we're not eating out all of our meals before the trip, because we definitely have that inclination as well. Okay, the other thing that I like to do in the house specifically is clean. I like to do laundry. I like to do the sheets, all of the clothes, and the towels, just so that we come home to like freshly laundered everything, and we only have to do whatever laundry we've brought back from our trip. I also like to clean the bathroom, vacuum the house, and then make sure everything is kind of in its place as much as possible. Today is Saturday. We're leaving on Wednesday. So I'm not going to do all of those things today, but what I will do is go ahead and start a load of clothes, because it's the end of the week and this is when we do laundry anyways. I'll probably wash our sheets on Tuesday. Honestly, maybe even Wednesday if I have the time before we go to the airport. I might wash them so that when we come back, we have like fully fresh sheets. I'll do clothes today. I'll do towels on Monday or Tuesday, and I'll do our sheets on Wednesday. Let's do some laundry. So like I said, I also like to clean the bathroom, but I'm actually going to leave that job for my husband to do on Tuesday evening, because I don't feel like doing that tonight. The other thing that I like to do is check all of my toiletries. I use these super tiny toiletry containers. I have used these for like a 1.5-month trip, and they don't run out. You use way less product than you think you use. So, highly recommend. I got these off of Amazon years ago. I think 2021, 2022 maybe. I don't purchase from Amazon anymore. I'm sure you can find them somewhere else. And then I just used a little label maker to put labels on all of them, because I have like 8 that I typically take with various different things. I even have one that I've put some cream bronzer into so that I don't have to take my whole cream bronzer, because it's quite bulky. So I make sure that all of those are filled properly. I even put my toothpaste in one. Now, the toothpaste does sometimes run out when I'm on a longer trip, but it definitely shouldn't for this trip that we're going on right now. But I have my face wash, literally all of them. Pretty much every single toiletry that I'm taking is in my hand right now. I have a couple of other hair products and like deodorant and sunscreen and perfume that don't go in those containers, but for the most part, they all are in those little containers. The other thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about food is I prepped some bagels and a loaf of sourdough to be in the freezer. And honestly, I will probably make another round of bagels before we go, simply because I have a lot of discard. And if you know anything about sourdough, you know that even when you put it in the fridge, if it's really happy and active discard slash starter, it keeps growing. And my discard is like, I keep having to press the air out of it because it keeps wanting to explode in my fridge. And I don't want to leave it in there for 9 days because it could keep growing. So instead, I'll probably use up some of that discard and make more bagels this weekend. Other things that I do to prep for a trip is I make any purchases. So a couple of things that I've needed to purchase were some Pepcid pills. I get really bad heartburn out of nowhere, honestly, a lot of the time. I take a digestive enzyme every day, and that has helped drastically. But sometimes I eat something and it's never the same thing. And it's rarely something super spicy. I love spicy food. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. But taking some Pepcid just in case. When we go to the Netherlands, we're always going to stay with my best friend and her family. And I always ask her if there's anything that she wants me to bring to her. So her requests this time around were the citrusy garlic Cuban style seasoning blend from Trader Joe's. It's delicious. I have tried this before. And everything but the elote seasoning blend, also from Trader Joe's. Also very good. It doesn't have as much flavor as I want it to have. Typically, I find myself having to use a lot of it. If I was living back in the Netherlands, it would be something that I would be very happy to have access to, if I could. I've mentioned before that we're going there to celebrate her daughter's 16th birthday. We're surprising her. She has no idea we're coming. But for that, we got her a birthday gift. I went ahead and ordered that here because it was cheaper in the States than it was to order it over there. And I ordered her a Sweet 16 sash to wear for her birthday dinner. So I'm very excited about that. Both of those things should be getting in on Monday. I had to pay for express shipping because I got the sash through an Etsy seller. Also, just a heads up, make sure on Etsy that you're looking at where the seller is shipping from and like looking at their profile to make sure that you're supporting like a small business or an individual person's business, because there are so many people who are now buying from like wholesale stores in foreign countries and shipping things and having those stores ship the things. It's called like drop shipping or something. And it's really upsetting because Etsy always felt like a place that I could go to get handcrafted items or to support small businesses. And you have to be very careful with who you order from now because that is not always the case. Just a hot tip on Etsy, if you're looking to support a small business or an individual owner of or an individual creator, make sure that you're looking to order from places and from people who have a good reputation, are shipping from somewhere local, or if they're from, I've gotten things from Ukraine before and from the Netherlands before and other places like that, and they are legit small businesses or individual creators. You just have to know what to look for kind of on the profile to make sure that they are legit and not a reseller or a drop shipper. Also filming this video right now and filming part 2 of this video of me packing. I'm doing it much earlier, which is why it feels a little difficult to figure out what to say. But part of prepping for the trip is recording ahead of time, editing the videos and scheduling the videos to go up while we're gone so that we're able to keep with our schedule. Something else in the tech kind of arena is charging all of my devices and making sure that they are all in like a centralized location prior to the trip, because there's nothing worse than putting on your headphones ready to listen to an audiobook or watch something on your phone and then getting the little noise that means that they're dead. Yes, it's happened before. I also do have a plug that goes from my headphones into like the back of the seat TV. So it is nice that I don't have to turn them on to watch movies on the plane, and therefore it doesn't drain my battery as much as if I was having to Bluetooth them to something for the entirety of the 8-9 hour flight. So I always charge my headphones, charge my phone, charge my laptop. I also travel with a small sound machine, which I will show you in the packing portion of the video. And I always make sure that that is charged up, because with jet lag and all of that, the likelihood of me remembering to charge it before the first night that we go to bed is very slim. I also make sure to purchase anything that we need digitally if we need tickets for something, or if we need to upgrade our flight or buy baggage or anything like that. I try to do that well ahead of time. So I have already purchased our seats for the flight there and for the flight home. I've done like the passport confirmation, and we are going to a football game, a soccer game, while we are over there. I'm very excited about that. My husband's very excited about that. We're going back to the city that I lived in when I was there, which is Alkmaar, and watching AZ's final game of the season, final match of the season. Very excited about that. I think that that's going to be a blast. I should have gotten the tickets way sooner. We are not even like sat together, but we have a couple of people in between our seats. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to just like move down a seat. I thought that I had like notifications turned on for when the tickets became available, but I did not. We got tickets. We'll see how it goes. I'm very excited about that. And then obviously for packing, I typically wait. I think the last time I went to the Netherlands, I was going for like 2 weeks and ended up packing 2 hours before I was going to the airport. I will not be doing that this time around. One, because of this, because I'll be filming it. And two, because it's just not good. It's not good for my brain. It should be slightly easier to pack this time around because we're going when it's warmer. And before, I was doing a capsule wardrobe, but it was going to be cooler. I was going like end of October through November. Packing a capsule like wardrobe with thick, chunky winter clothes is a lot harder than packing a capsule wardrobe for the spring when it should be a little bit warmer. So also before I get to packing clothes, I always check the weather for where we're going to be, kind of see what the average is, and then build a wardrobe around that. Always bringing one item that is going to be better if it's warmer than anticipated, and always bringing an item that will be helpful if it's colder than we anticipated. For instance, it might look like we only need like a light long sleeve shirt to kind of help in case it's a little windy or something, but I will probably also bring like a jean jacket just in case it's cooler than we anticipate, or if we think that it's going to be, just light and breezy, and I only bring tops with sleeves or that are a little bit longer, or just really heavy pants. I always try to take a lighter pair of pants and like a tank top or something in case it's warmer than we anticipate. But I'll talk more of that process through when I'm actually packing the clothes and kind of show you what I mean with that. We do have one event that we're going to that we need to like dress a little bit nicer for. So need to figure out what to wear for that. I also make sure to download any books from my library or from my Kindle library that might not be downloaded onto my Kindle device, so that if the mood strikes and I want to start a new book or pick up a book that I'm already reading, that I'm able to on the Kindle. I also sometimes will take a physical book if I plan on leaving it there. There are a couple of little free libraries that I'm aware of close to the area that I will be. And so if I have a book that I have been putting off reading and don't anticipate wanting to keep it physically, I will take one physical book with me. But there's a high likelihood, no, there's 100% likelihood that we will be purchasing books when we're there. It's actually one video that I want to film while we're there, is going to 3 of my favorite bookstores, maybe 4, maybe 5. It'll really depend on the amount of time that we have, because one of them is in Amsterdam and I don't know if we'll make it to Amsterdam this time around. Another one is in Alkmaar, the city that we're going to go to prior to the soccer game. And I don't know if it will be open because we're going on Sunday, but 3 for sure, because one is in the village that we'll be in and 2 of them are in like the large city that's closest to where we'll be. And I'm very excited because I have found some absolute gems in both of those bookstores, and I very much look forward to being able to peruse. I am hoping that maybe I can find some Robin Hobb books while I'm there, because it has been a bust trying to find them here. Sorry I keep jumping around in this video, but I'm going to jump around again. Part of the reason I like to do the food prep, the cleaning, and all of that is because I like to be able to come home and not have to do anything. The other thing is this pup. He will be going to stay with my parents while we're gone, so I have already put his food in his travel container because I didn't know how much we were going to need for before we left and once we got back. And I'm glad I did that, because I would have thought that we had enough food if I didn't prep that already. So we did end up having to buy a bag of food for him, which was not on the budget this month, but that's been kind of the name of the game. I'm sure, you're going to hear more about it when I do the May budget update. But let me tell you, this is the first month where I'm like, was there even any point to trying to budget because of how many things have cropped up? But one of the things is some food for little man here. Like I said, he'll be going to stay with my parents, and we will pack his things once we get closer. But I did go ahead and pull his food out. And the major things for him are food, his allergy pills, because poor buddy, his eyes are watering all the time, and his collar and leash. And really, he doesn't need much else. So I honestly thought that there was going to be more to show you, but I'm realizing I've done a lot of the prep already, or I need to wait and do it when we get closer to leaving. But hopefully a couple of those tips or tricks were helpful. I don't know if it will be, but I will be doing a part 2 of actually packing my personal item, my carry-on bag, toiletries, clothes, all of those things. And that will be going up next week. And then hopefully we'll have some fun footage of our travels that we can share as well, since we will be with essentially family while we're there. I don't know how much I'll be able to film, but I do hope to go to a couple of bookstores, film while we're there, and maybe do a little book haul while we're there as well. But we will see what happens. All right, until next time.